Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. LeBron James sucks versus real competition, right? LeBron James sucks under real competition, and we're going to talk about this today, okay? This guy is a fraud, okay? As far as what he's been made out to be by the media. Yes, he's a good player. It's starting to be borderline if this guy is really amongst the great players. And when I'm talking about great players, I'm talking about maybe like top 10 elite players. When we start talking about top 10, that's elite. When we start talking about top 5, woo, woo, wow, this guy can't crack that top 5. No way. And he's not going to be in the elite top 10 players. So let's look at this guy's career and let me guide you through how this guy sucks against real competition, right? And usually real competition is in the playoffs or some kind of form of a tournament, right? And again, just because you lose, that doesn't mean you melted down or you choked. Everybody loses. That's not what we're talking about here. It's the way you lose, right? When you shoot 30 something percent from the field, you're shooting 40% from the field. You got 4 turnovers. You're shooting 60 something percent from the line, 30 something percent from 3. If you're trying to shoot the 3, let's talk about this. And we're going to go down the line and show you against competition, not front running against competition that ain't no good. Any good player or great player can beat competition that isn't really that good. So 2004, this guy misses the playoffs. Why? Because he was not ready for the NBA. Everything you've been told about this guy exceeded all expectations, right? What was the expectation when this guy came in the league? Because he was the most hyped player of all time. So he came into the weakest East since the 1950s, right? They said he was ready for the NBA. They said he was ready for the NBA. Was he or was he not? That's what we hear from Shannon Sharp, all these guys, Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, Rob Park. He exceeded all expectations. So the expectations was that when he came into the NBA, he was going to be on the level of Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, all these type of guys like this when he came into the NBA, right? They didn't put that on Kobe. They already knew Kobe was coming into a tough NBA in the 90s. No way this guy was going to start. So they didn't put that burden on him. But they put this burden on this guy because the era sucked when he came in 2004. I wouldn't say it sucked, but it wasn't as good as the 80s and 90s, where you could just come straight out of school, high school, for the most part, and flourish and be great. So that's what his expectations was. If he was the most hyped player of all time, if not, why was he the most hyped player of all time? Anybody could walk into the NBA, that's a good player, and get drafted out of high school and miss the playoffs. Kevin Garnett did it. A lot of players did it besides LeBron. He didn't do anything special. Why? He wasn't ready for the NBA. That's why he missed the playoffs. Second season, 2005, misses the playoffs with an all-star teammate. Jordan would have been murdered to this day if he would have missed the playoffs with an all-star teammate. Didn't even have an all-star teammate until what? His, 5th or 6th season? LeBron melted down after the all-star game and lost 19 out of 31 games. Let's rewind it back. That summer in 2004, what happened? Got rolled off the floor by some Argentinian plumbers and won bronze medal. Man, LeBron didn't get to play, man. Well, if you shot 41%, oh God, it hurts me just to say that. How do you shoot 41% as a forward from the field and you was a minus 144 for the season? You know what that is? That's a liability. So if you weren't good enough to play on your own team because you was a liability, Why would they put you on the court? Why would they put you on the court? You suck. You can't shoot. At that point, you should have learned. Let me get a jump shot. Dude, if you go watch 90s basketball, these guys are shooting mid-range all over the place. The centers, the forwards, the power forwards, everybody. If you didn't have a jump shot in the 90s, you couldn't even play in that league. If you couldn't hit from mid-range, and what mid-range is outside of the paint, if you couldn't shoot a mid-range, you couldn't even play in that league. LeBron has no mid-range. Still to this day, 2006. And what have I mentioned already? This is the type of competition that he's been facing. He's not good enough to be good enough for them. By missing the playoffs. By can't even get on the floor in the '04 Olympics. 2007. Melts down in the NBA Finals. Rewind that back and go watch it. Break, 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 break. And his fans will put up some little meme of 1 second in the game where he's surrounded by 4 Spurs. Go watch the game. That happened for 1 second. Go watch the rest of the game. Everybody, just about the whole time, is playing one-on-one against this brick artist that can't shoot. Can't get in the paint, can't do layups. It's over. This is against good competition, right? What happens against good competition again? LeBron melts down and he chokes. 2008 faces your first super team, Boston. 35% from the field in the series. 23, I think, from three-point land. 5 turnovers a game. 60-something percent, low 60s from the free throw line. And this was weak competition. I'll tell you how weak it was. He took this to a game 7 with those percentages. Man, LeBron put up 38 and 8. My God, you did that? You did that? How many shots did you need? And you were shooting 38% from the field. How many shots do you need? That's what I'm saying. Rookie year, 41% from the field. And he averaged 20 points per game. You know how many shots that is? Brick, 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 brick. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan, first season, 50% from the field. That's unheard of for a guard taking like 20 shots. 21 shots, 22 shots. Jordan, 51%, 53% from the field in his early years. On 22, 23 shots, that's unheard of. 48% from the field on 27 shots a game. That's unheard of, folks. Meanwhile, LeBron couldn't crack 50% from the field in a season until his 7th season. That's unheard of. And this guy is doing dunks and layups. 2009, how did this guy get the number 1 seed? Oh, such a tough East against a super team, Boston. Well, we got the number 1 seed in the whole NBA. Gets beat by some more competition in the playoffs. Because I told you, that's when it's not about winning or losing. It's about you making a name in the playoffs. Melted down again. Melted down again against the number 3 seed. Oh, man, we're looking forward to Boston. Who says something dumb like that? Who says something stupid like that? So you're trying to tell Boston couldn't shoot. You was, what? The Cavs was more of a shooting team than a paint team. So you think he was going to beat Boston? When did you beat Boston? You didn't beat Boston in 2008. So how was you going to beat them in 2010 when you faced them? This is competition. This guy so far has not been good against great competition. 2010. Oh, we got the number 1 seed over that super team, right? That super team that you had to go run to Miami and build a super team, and you got the number 1. Who's ever heard of this? Michael Jordan never lost as the number 1 seed. Ever. Never, ever, ever. Never. Lost to a number 4 super team, Boston. Wow, what a super team! It was number 4 in the conference. Hell of a super team. Lost against good competition again. 2011, Ran from his home. I need help. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. I'm not good against good competition. Well, you lost again against good competition because you was the weak link again. 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 When has this guy been good against good competition? Great competition. Whatever you want to say. Good, great, whatever. Man, how you just gonna skip over 2012, man? I don't think OKC was great competition. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, I don't think they're great competitors. Yeah, they're great players, but they're not great competitors. Neither is Durant, as we can see, is not a great competitor. He needs a whole bunch of other great competitors to be so-called great. He can't lead his team. 2014, choked it up with the super team. Got blown off the floor. Blown off the floor. Blown off the floor. Blown off the floor. Gentleman sweep. Great competition. 2015. Great competition. Took a 2-1 lead going back home. Choked it down. Shot 39% from the field. Like 3.5 turnovers. 61% from three. No, not from three. From the line. From three, shot. Wasn't no better. Well, he shot like 29% from three. Choked it down. You know what it is? It seems like this guy really isn't a leader. You know, when you watch these games, like, guys just playing based off of athleticism. No true leader. Because when you see your leader out there fumbling and bumbling and he really ain't got no real quote unquote position game, right? No post moves. No, not a real good passer, as we've been told, like, CP3 or Steve Nash or Jason Kidd or John Stockton or none of these dudes. Magic ain't really good at three. Ain't got no mid-range shot. Ain't got no crafty moves. So when you see your leader really ain't got that many skills and melts down, this is what his teams will always do at the end of the day. 2017, with the super team, gentleman sweep against competition. Real competition. Yes, Kevin Durant had to go over there. I don't believe that they would have lost. Even if Kevin Durant didn't join that team. I think this was just like payback Kevin Durant was doing. Because the guy kept hopping team to team, right? Getting other teams' number one franchise players. So Kevin Durant said, well, let me get a piece of that. I'm going to just one-up you. And Kevin Durant ain't all that, right? Is he better than LeBron? That's what we're looking at, right? Don't just say LeBron is a top 2 player. ESPN, Fox Sports, all these people. So Kevin Durant is better. LeBron is better than Kevin Durant. So what's the issue? Why did they lose? Don't say Curry. Curry wasn't that good that series. Irving outplayed him. Who was it? Love and Clay, they was pretty much tied in points. It was because LeBron got schooled by KD. You can't shut this. you can't shut this dude down. Shooting all in your grill. Talking about you a good defender. Guard 1 through 5. Please. 2018, same thing. Quit on your team. Lost against great competition again. Why'd you even go? Why did this guy even go to the finals? Why did you show up back to the finals again with a worse team? That shows you how weak his competition was in the East. But when he's got to play competition, he's trash. He's not a leader. Let this guy get his points, his stat line, and we can get our championship. That's what the other team says. Let this dude get his stat line. We'll take the championship. 2019. Oh, now you coming into the West. Remember, you've been getting rolled by the West in the finals. Oh, he can't make the playoffs. He won his little bubble championship, right? World was shut down, was sick, was dying, and he's out there celebrating, putting up his bubble gum trophy. in rap world, now it's time to face real competition because we're back to work and the world done woke up 2021, bounced in the first round by real competition. Bounced. Humiliated too. 2022, super team, couldn't even make the playoffs. Couldn't even make the playoffs. Because he's playing real competition in the West. Last year, 23. Whoo, you got them free throws, right? A lot of teams melted down like Memphis, Golden State, Minnesota. You got lucky, but you got your butt whooped against great competition in the Western Conference Finals. This year, 0-3, it might get swept again against great competition. What I'm trying to say is this guy really ain't that good or great against great competition. So let's rewind it back. When we think about 2012, we'll give him that. But you had 2 top 5 players in the league at the time on your team just to win that 2012 championships, right? 2014, you barely won. You bricked it off the front of the rim and barely won. You wasn't great against great competition. This is this guy's whole career. 2016, we know what happened. You wasn't great against great competition. Kyrie Irving was. Draymond Green. Great is when you can beat a team like 4-2, 4-1, something like that, or sweep them. How come this? Oh my goodness, this guy is really no good against good competition. To be playing 21 years and you're about to have 4 sweeps against you, that's crazy. How many gentlemen sweeps do you have against you? Like 3 or 4? How many gentlemen sweeps does this guy have? And how many times does he make it to the playoffs or win a championship without a super team? That's crazy. Without a super team. How many times? Without a super team? Because Michael Jordan did it 3 times if you want to call Dennis Rodman a part of a super team. Those teams won based on defense. They shut the league down defensively for those 3 years. They were all about defense, which means now you got to outscore your opponent too, right? LeBron ain't about that life. And when he lost to Kyrie, Durant and the Warriors, he had to sacrifice, and that's what he always does, sacrifice defense for offense because this guy has no offensive game. Tell me what you think.